This is how the tea cakes press.
Но он так жестко прям, смотри,
Dangerous kind of mold on it. You can see traditional patterns. Most of the trees here look like this. It's called guanmushu. I'm in Kunming. Kunming, the capital of Yunnan province, the motherland of pu-erh tea, and now I'm going to Ban or Jinhun, the capital of Ban. After go to Menghai. After 5 years, Kunming airport. Very beautiful, modern, same infrastructure projects like this in China, maybe hundreds of those, like big railway stations. I'll take my suitcase and go to next destination. Of course, as soon as you arrived in Yunnan, in Kunming, you will see a lot of tea shops with pu-erh tea. Actually, you can meet also them in any city in China, in the airport. For example, in Fujian province, there is very popular company Bama and some other who sell mostly oolong and white tea. But here you mostly can see pu-erh tea. This is a Cha company. It's a state-owned corporation, which also have many branches, not only in Yunnan province but in other provinces too. They have many production facilities, and actually this is how retail packaging of modern pu-erh looks like. Very colorful. Actually, I don't like so much this kind of packaging because it's a lot of wasting. You buy a big box and inside is only 200 grams of tea in such a big box. It's for 380 yuan, so it's around 60 euro or dollars, whatever. Actually retail prices for good, we can say, I don't know it's good or bad tea, but it's kind of big brand, so I think it's drinkable at least. So the cheapest, I think we have like a 25-30 euro for a cake. We have for 1,000 euro or even more like this, or like more than 3,000 euro for this cake. I think maybe it's something from ancient trees. So just for you to know what is average tea market in China. I spent here some time, so I don't know how many customers do we have, but literally have branches in any big city, any big store or airport. You can see it. Not any, but most of them. You can't buy loose leaf tea here. You can buy only pre-packs, and of course the ladies will brew for you if you want. And also here many other shops, not only this one, but this is the biggest Chinese state-owned company, so they are really massive. The amount of tea shops and the rooms here is really enormous. Here is a tea bar by Menghai Tea Factory, Dai brand. This is how it looks like. You can also buy some tea here or a bar. Just on the other side there is also a shop, Xiaguan Tocha. They completely redesigned brand, very famous Dali company. Many know them by this traditional packaging. Yunnan Tocha. I think it exists for 50 years or something, or even longer, in similar design. My funny question from a lady, why it's so expensive? Yeah, it was also my question, why it's so expensive, because actually the prices I hear are really similar to European retail or American or whatever, not far more cheaper, because it's a brand, and it's a very famous brand. It's more than 100 years old. It was founded in 1902. Yeah, literally I was entered from this entrance. I entered before when I was here. 你好，你好。 I'm arrived to Sishan Ban Na, now waiting for the luggage. Actually, it's also tourist attraction, not only for tea lovers. Still, the most of the information is about pu-erh tea, some biggest factories and so on, but also elephant sanctuary, some other natural reserves, spa and so on. So many tourists also came here for ethnic. I call it sometimes like a Chinese Thailand, also because of local minority, Daezu, which is very close to Thai, and even their letters were language similar in how it's written to Thai language. You can often see it on some tea cakes from Menghai region, from Sishan Ban Na region, and also, of course, on our official papers and so on. Already one person waiting for me there, and there is a sign, "Welcome back home," and I really appreciate that. 你好，你好，你好，你好，你好，你好，你好。This is how the tea cakes pressed here, how we can say regular process. And yeah, now it's all more automated than before. Still stone press and operated only by 2 workers, 6 presses and 6 more if needed, more speed. Pu-erh. Now we on the factory trying pu-erh, and here is a chato and a loose leaf pu-erh from one pile. We tried also loose leaf. Here it is. We tried also chato tea heads, and they appear in a big pu-erh pile during fermentation. Before also I spread it a little bit. Not misinformation, but kind of not fully correct information about their appearance, because not fully incorrect. It's correct, but depending on what kind of pile you do. Because now we make more smaller piles, especially than it's ancient tea trace material. These big heads, they appear because of buds, the best material out of the pile, out of the material. They stick to each other because the buds are more sticky a little bit. Inside the chato, you have a little bit better quality material comparing to all the rest of the pile. Actually, here it's still mostly buds. It's very good quality pu-erh, but chato even better. The technologists show me the certificates from Taiwan. They go through SGS for 488 pesticides tested, 0, fully organic material. Very clean, no any chemical find there, because actually, yeah, ancient trees, they don't need to have any kind of fertilization. They just grow themselves originally. Now we go to the next factory to have a look for the fermentation process. Beautiful pond here. Yeah. We now one of the fermentation facilities, and here fermented xiao husai material from Mang'an, also to pu-erh, and here technologists he just explained me some details about fermentation, also about chateau. So actually this is naturally compressed buds. They create kind of spikes, and these spikes it's called Lao chateau or chateau tea heads actually. And these tea heads mostly even more tasty than the loose leaf material. And also loose leaf material, you need to have about 60, no more than 60 degrees fermentation inside the pile, also 60 centimeters. The elevation of the pile, no more because it will burn, and no less because it will be not enough for fermentation. And also here, yeah, we need about 10-15 days, and after this time we need to create pile again to look for the state of the tea, and later you just it can be the total process up to 40 days. 但是一共的时间大概30天左右，是不是？45天。45天，大概在45天。It's around 45 days actually for, but it depends. You need to look for material and for the also humidity and some other components, how the fermentation goes. So you need to control it manually all the time. Very interesting fact about the microorganism, because yeah, you can see that some mold on the top of the pile, and actually this mold appears about around 50-40 degrees, but then the temperature increase. Like now it's 52 inside, 53. Yeah, 53, 对. When it goes to the 60, it's microorganisms, they change it to the good ones actually, so which are good for health, and there are no any dangerous kind of mold on it. So you even feel it by aroma, so aroma is very sweet, and there are no any bad feeling actually, because then the mold is really dangerous. You can literally feel it by smell when the tea is spilled. The most important thing is the temperature, so if it goes more higher than 60, here we have a problem. So you must control temperature all the time. Don't let it go more than 60. One of the very important questions for those who are very interested in fermentation and in how it is traditionally from Menghai, what is the traditional method of fermentation process or post-fermentation, how we call it, wet pile wet fermentation. This kind of fermentation is more typical and more traditional for Menghai. It was started this way and still continues this way in even a smaller parts like here, like 400 kg, 700 kg, few tons. It's still not considered as a huge, because sometimes 40 tons, even bigger. Later, maybe not so long time ago, appeared also bamboo baskets type of fermentation, and some people say they are more traditional, more old, and so on. They may be traditional for Guangxi province, they do HR, but not here. Here it appears much later. These piles traditionally recognized as a more traditional way of fermentation in Menghai. And even the smaller piles also do the same way, because we need the elevation like 60 centimeters, no less, no high, and to create a right fermentation process. And here is a bigger pile, which is processed also the same method, wet fermentation. It also goes around 20 days already, and we can see that the pile is pretty hot. And also on the upper layer we can see this kind of mold, or also it's called like a silver fog, sometimes people call it this way. And after 20 days it disappeared, and it became quite strong actually. And this upper layer here, it also a chateau appear from this upper layer, because they stick to each other quite stronger. But the material of chateau on this material is a little bit different from the gushu ones, which I just keep in my hand. We want to try a little. One of the most important steps in the production of pu-erh, actually the last step, when the tea is ready, the pile is ready and tea is dry, they use a special machine, this sticky kind of turning engines. It collects all the dust, the fear of the birds or some hairs or something else, because still the farmer product, and it's easy to have it. And also small fraction, all the dust. It's all collected in these sacks, and it's not go to the final product. And here, this vibrating surface, it harvests already ready product, which is good. And after that, we still do full manual selection because machine is perfect enough, but not fully enough. And the lady here works on to remove all the stamps and some unpleasant pieces of paper or pieces from the sacks. Often some plastic pieces comes to tea, so you need to all the time select it from machine and after that manually again. And here we can see what kind of material it is. So the stems, the plastic, some hairs, that's it. Here is the door of the tasting room, the tasting where we try our tea. And actually here is a sign especially made for us. Moychay, welcome home, because I was not here for a long time, so my friends really happy to see me, and I also really happy to see them. And here is a full character, but made upside down. Yeah, actually the meaning is like fu dao. It means like the happiness, the fu, si, fu ti. Yeah, it's already arrived. So this is why we put it this way. And now we will drink this Lao Ban Zhang shu from 2020, 23rd of March. Processed with fresh leaf and after it was fermented, and it's pu-erh from ancient Gushu tea trees from Lao Ban Zhang. I think one of the best actually I tried. Wow. This music instrument called tsili. It's traditionally for Han minority. Now we try very interesting pu-erh. Just we took from that pile. It's a Xiao Husai Gushu. Xiao Husai Gushu cha shu, which is not yet fully fermented. It's like in a halfway semi-product. Halfway, and the aroma is so sweet. What I can say, actually very sweet tea, and it's really rarely you can feel, you can taste this kind of tea. The same like with any semi-product, you can only try it in a factory. It's impossible to try it somewhere in other place. You need to be in a place to try it just straight from the pile, or the same with shen, which is just roasted and maybe even rolled, but not yet dried. The same. You can try and you can see how it will develop the next steps in processing. So it's important also for technologists, especially, they do that all the time. Now we are in the showroom of one factory. It's a ceramic factory, traditional dyed ceramics. A little bit reminds me also the same technique in Jianshui in Yunnan, but mainly this type of patterns a little bit refers to Thailand, Chiang Mai factory of Celadon. I also was there and filmed this factory. And here we can see traditional patterns of local dye people. But for me, of course, mainly interesting this pu-erh. A bit reminds me about Jinshui ceramics, but still have some local specialty. Especially, I choose for myself a pot like this, very unique, and some cups.
好吧，好吧，欢迎欢迎啊！来，金八起刀，上上。我这些上上。
Here is some basic information about Yunnan Isian Iye. This means the Yunnan, and also not only Yunnan province, but actually many other provinces. We have this kind of altitude, this kind of approach to produce one type of industry in one region. So which is actually tier regions. Here is a map of the most famous villages in the Menghai region. So now we're on this Nan Nuo Shan. And here also some villages like Lao Ban Zhang and Naka and Xin Ban Zhang, Lao Man E, Bulan all this Pasha Mountain, many other, not so detailed, but most of well-known tea places here on the map. Here's more technical information about the start of the project and how much farmers, the amount of tea produced, the elevation, year temperatures, more detailed information about the region itself. Nan Nuo Shan, it's mostly inhabited by Han minority, and they have up to 1,500 people and a little bit more than 20 villages. And we will now go to one of those villages to have a look. This is how our tea garden looks like, which regularly called Shen Tai Cha. Often they have this kind of signs. The factories or the farmers put it just for advertisement to promote their brands, their tea. Yeah, it's literally very common for tea mountains. Even some farmers which we work with also have our sign. Here is a Jai Man. Jai Man is actually the gates to the village, to the Jai. It's a small village, smaller than the Tsun. There's two types of villages. Jai is actually a very small, tiny village. And Han minority, they have some kind of special designs. Actually, this protection of evil spirits made from bamboo, also kind of decoration. And also the dogs, which are all the time kind of friend of local citizens, maybe also local protector. The dog is actually a very important animal for Han minority. They use them, they appreciate them. And this we can often see near the statues of people, like dogs all the time, like kind of your accompanying the local inhabitants. The gates also designs pretty interesting, and many minorities in Yunnan have similar gates, not the same like this, but actually, yeah, this also maybe a little bit modern, already made from cement. And the older ones was mostly wooden. Here in Nan Nuo, actually, a lot of local farmers also work as a like local marketplace. Most of the houses have small branches, small tea drinking places. Looks like this, actually. There are hundreds of those. I think maybe almost not all, but many of families have it. And here also the local dish. It's eggs, which boiled in tea leaves. There's some also local spices, and you can actually buy it just paying by QR code, WeChat Pay. This is how the traditional house of Han minority. Actually, now most of the houses still not look like this. Sadly, most of them already demolished because they're quite old to maintain. But this house still maintained, not only for tourist purposes, but actually we just live there and also have their kind of a kitchen. Also the protection of evil spirits on entrance. Also this kind of blocks for against snakes and some other heavy rain season. Here's a kitchen, and they cook it on, of course, on open fire. Some bamboo. Wow. 那么香。
啊，竹筒汁。
对对对对啊，很香。And here also traditional table actually, because we sit on the floor and they eat on the floor. They use this kind of tables. And here Shen pu-erh drying, the last step of Moychay processing, called trigang, actually drying under the sun in the shade. I so missed this flavor, this smell. Here we have traditional honey minority dinner. They prepared a lot of wild-grown food, some local meat, fish, some special spices prepared on the open fire. Oh, this is called the jutongji. The chicken prepared inside a bamboo, just on open fire. So here they do some smoking food, smoked food, smoked meat mostly. Just here, our team already wearing traditional clothes. And here we have one more gate. It's very interesting. It's a small gates, so for like a family inside the family. And here we have also a representation of a man and women, and with special shape, like a lingam. And here also like a women shape. And also this is kind of graduating, not Chevrolet, but yeah, something like when you came to the house as a guest, they just give you this, and you have this kind of special gift, and also so it's kind of honoring this guest. Now we in Nan Nuo tea garden. Here actually tea trees are mostly aged from 100 years and older, and we have also each tree have some kind of paidzi, some kind of sign. Mostly it's some farmer sign or some company sign who actually rented the tree or owning the tree for some couple of time. But it depending of what kind of a tree and which chai wine or tea garden it belongs. And this type of tea called guan mushu, which actually have few different big branches. It's really most of the trees here look like this. It's called guan mushu. And if it's just a straight standing tree, it's called qiaomu. Like one standing tree, there's not many trees all together from one root. It also because of before we had the cutted trees, and this is why from one root few trees altogether grow, and also because they had also relating to the type. It's called Yunnan Daizhong or Menghai Daizhong. There are many varieties, but this called just kind of a shape Guan Mushu. Historically, many tea villages they also work on branches, especially shape them so it's more easy to climb to harvest the trees, because if you not shape them, it just will grow straight and it's very difficult to climb and to harvest. Yeah, so this is why all the tea trees, especially in oldest tea gardens, not like here but much older, they all the time a little bit more horizontal branches, so it's much easier to climb, and it's not it's not so tall tree. Even if it's very old, it's still not very tall. So now we are near the ancient tea tree of Nan Nuo on Nan Nuo mountain. This is the oldest tea tree on Mountain Nan Nuo. It's 800 years old, 11 meters elevation, Guan Mucha cultivar, Pinrung, the type of the tree. And this is the oldest tea tree. And actually, the funniest part, before I was here in Shudozhai, and other farmers told me about the other one, but this is the oldest tree, but not, this is actually, this one is the oldest. And the price for one harvest, 1 year harvest, is 16 kilo of fresh leaf only, so it may be like 6-7 kilo of ready product, maybe something around this, maybe even 5. You pay, the starting price is 400,000 yuan. It's really a lot. Yeah, but people buying, and many even people who participating auctions, and some different companies buy depending on the year. So yeah, it's appreciated because it's very well known, our power of name, very strong, minty, very famous tea tree. And again, a little bit about the signs of the trees. You can often see them at many tea mountains, not only on Nan Nuo. And actually this tree is the second inside this village, 14 village, with tree number 2. So it's actually the second largest tea tree, not on all Nan Nuo mountain, but in this concrete village tea garden. And each village have their own kind of naming, and they can name it like a chawan inside their own tea garden. But actually, yeah, it's quite also big. It's also going Moychay, so it's very easy to climb and to harvest. Not so easy as from the bushes, but still much easier than from Tiamu. Harvesting fresh tea from the ancient tea trees in Nan Nuo mountain. Farmers, we just bought fresh leaf from these 2 trees, this and that one. And the guys just start to learn how to harvest, not from the bushes, we just only harvest from the ancient tea tree. This tree is about 300 years old. Okay. Finally, I'm on top. And here we have some buds. So now I'm harvested a little bit of fresh leaf. It's quite difficult because you not only need to climb, but you also need to balance and also to take the best buds. And also I'm filming. It's quite old. But I really like this feeling of staying in a tree and harvesting. For a long time I'm not harvested in Yunnan. So we just finished harvesting, and actually maybe we collected around 3 kg of fresh leaf from this one tree. Not so much, actually. It's because now it's quite drought time, very dry season, and not so much rain, so not so much leaves also. We tried to pick actually 1 bud, 2, 3 leaves. Yeah, today we wither a little bit and bring the material to our factory and there make a roasting. Maybe we'll have 1 kg or maybe less, 1 kg, maybe 2-3 cakes later of pu-erh chai. It means tea from one tree. This is our basket with a 3.25 kg of fresh leaf of ancient tea tree material. We also ask grandma to go to pick up from the same tree. We still have some buds there to have 4 kg. In this case we will have at least 1 kg of dried leaf after that. So it's ancient tea tree, chai, from one single tree harvested tea. So I really want to have it, great material. And here we also have a material which is a little bit cheaper, also still from the trees, but younger ones, and also mixed. Some trees are also maybe old, 300 years, and maybe even older. Some trees are young, maybe around 100. Yeah, it's already withering, the tea is withered, so it's prepared for roasting this evening. So we will buy all the material, all the fresh leaf, cook it today in our factory downstairs in Menghai. Yeah, so this will be great fun today. We are finishing our time in the mountains, prepare the tea. We drink some oolong tea now by Yatsilan from Fujian. This is one of our also alma mater in Fujian province. Also, for local people never try actually this tea before, but enjoy to share with them. And actually, infrastructure on Nan Nuo Mountain has changed a lot to good. If you just travel yourself, it's also good, enjoyable, just randomly sit in some places like here, very warm feeling, especially this time of the year when it's not so hot yet and not raining season yet also. Great. We are here on our small facilities for roasting the tea. Now we're preparing for withering, just a little bit wither it first. Here we have two types of material. In these bamboo pans we have Shanghai material, so it's from young trees of Nan Nuo, and here is a gushu from ancient trees of Nan Nuo. Here's only 4.5 kg, and here we have 35 kg. First let them wither a little bit. We need to make a layer not too thick, it might be thinner a little bit, but they are also a little bit already withered in the mountains. So now we just continue the process. It's very easy, just let it stay in the shade for a bit. And after the leaf must be ready for, so now it's still strong standing, I have to say. We need to make it very soft. And after it's ready for the roasting. So we need to wait maybe till 11 p.m. something.
Hồng chi đi nè, di dòng chi dễ bờ, thì gà lối chi đó bờ, thì gà lối đó ta mai, khờ hè đó ta nè, khờ không đó chi nè,干了这一杯。祝愿大家健康快乐，吉祥如意。喊6声，来，金八启动，射！欢迎欢迎。
So now we are guests of father of our friend Lao and our partner Menghai, and we drink Lao Ban Zhang tea, which was made only 2 days ago, the day before yesterday, fresh Tochung Gushu cha, which is means super new and just processed early spring tea from ancient trees. And actually, why? Because they actually lived in Lao Ban Zhang for some couple of time. They're originally from there. This is why we have all the possible access to the best material in Lao Ban Zhang. Yeah, so we're enjoying this tea here. Now we start roasting. Actually, it's traditional pan like wok for roasting of the tea, fresh shem Moychay, and we have 2 woks and also 2 masters who doing now the first roasting of the first batch. This is Shanghai China from Nan Nuo, as I already told. It's actually not so easy. It's pretty hard, tough job, because you feel the pain over here, and you also need to control. At the same time, you need to turn leaves all the time to not let them burn. At the same time, you need to roast them properly. This is quite intense and difficult job. Now, many factories also do it already by machine, not fully manual like now. But still, the best material mostly manually roasted. It's a very appreciated kind of tradition if you have skills to do it. And also now Lao he control the fire, and the 2 masters they roast, and they all the time look for best possible temperature, because to develop temperature manually by wood it's very actually not easy at all, and we have really tried to make perfect tea this time. Hopefully we will. As soon as I finish, I will also try myself, because I also like it very much. I already had this experience before. I can't say I'm very skilled, but I tried that a lot. Also in our factory in Thailand and here in Yunnan many years ago. So let us try again. I start the roasting. Actually, here I have also the technologist who will correct me if I'm wrong. Till now he not correct me. He said I do anything quite right. Now we slowly increasing the temperature. Also leaves became more hot. I'm already working for maybe 5 minutes, and we see the leaf mass became smaller, and we need to constantly move the leaves to not let them over fry, not let to burn them out. It's very important. And here it's almost done. Then the leaves stick to each other, almost done, not yet, and we can actually put it for cooling down, and after the rolling. Now we see the leaves became more sticky, and they're actually almost ready, almost done.
Moychay. By Moychay.
We finished the roasting of Shantai cha, and now we have the last 4.5 kg of gushu, and here we have it. While the master make a rolling of the last batch, we need to prepare for the gushu roasting. I will do myself, with of course assistance of our technologists, our teachers. Yes, so it's a really great experience, I can say. Let's start. Now we have gushu cha, not only gushu cha but also danzhu cha, which means tea from one tree, single tree. It's also very appreciated by the tea lovers. The tree not very old, it's 500 years old, but still we harvested tea by ourselves. Unique aroma, I can say it's really like orchard aroma, and completely different comparing to the Shantai cha. This from Gushu, Danzhu cha, it's very special. The last and one of the most interesting steps actually. So as soon as we finished the roasting, rolling, all by hand, fully manual, we have here the tea. And before, most of the places where I go, and we have this type of technology that they use a little bit more higher fire, a little bit more hot, and right after rolling, the tea was already prepared for final drying. Put in a bamboo pans, but here not. I make a pile like this to make a kind of extraction of aroma. Little tiny bit of fermentation when you store it, keep it like that till the morning. And in the morning we'll get back to the factory to make a final drying process, to put it on bamboo pans, these ones. And after we will have a really drying, actually sun drying, and it will be ready Moychay. So guys, good morning. And actually we just realized that yesterday we prepared the tea in a day of spring equinox or vernal equinox. And now we're signing the tea. Yesterday was 20 of March 2024. Yeah. So we signed it and we put it here. Yep. Not so difficult process, just to put leaves on this bamboo, but actually there are some tiny details, like to don't put it in very thin layer, a little bit thicker, just to don't over dry the tea, keep the aroma. And this is all our harvest from yesterday, which few people work for an hour and a half to harvest. And here is Shantai, Shanpur. Yeah, so actually this is all our work from yesterday. Not so big amount actually. We again on a factory where we compress our tea cakes, and here we now processing dajinya, big golden buds, pu-erh. It's good for shucha cake, small 100 grams cake. It's one of the best pu-erh material because it has a lot of content of buds. Process still the same. We just scale the tea, put it in the mold. After that, put the small Menghai, a piece of paper that proves that it's this cake. After that, add some moisture, put the mold to the fabric back, and after that, shape it and put under the press. And we have this packed cake. And after the worker take it out, and we have beautiful shoe. It needs to be dried, a special dryer. And after that, we wrap it, and it's ready. So this is a drying shelf. After we compress the cakes, we need to dry it. And for Shanpur, it's only 1 day, 50 degrees, this shelf. And better quality Shanpur even dried naturally without any shelf, just outside in shade or even under small sunlight, kind of. Depending on the production facilities, some farmers often dry tea cakes in the same place when they make actually Moychay drying. But here for shucha, we need 3 days at 50 degrees in this shelf to dry it low temperature. Because if you increase the temperature, it will be not so good. It will affect the aroma. It will be not so nice. So it's better lower temperature and longer dry. We now on Bulandshan mountain, and actually the tea gardens, ancient tea gardens started here in Menghai village. Here's also a sign about the Menghai village, and here we can see already tea gardens all around the road. Here's thousands of trees, some of trees quite old, like this one. Often we can see during the season like people climbing the trees all the time, and but now it's actually here it's not yet ready for harvesting, very small buds, so we need some time, maybe 1-2 weeks. But some trees already, some people pick the young buds to make more high level, maybe white tea, maybe sheng. But actually tea gardens, the bigger tree are there, so we can go a little bit to have a look. This is Menghai village, and one of the oldest tea tree garden in Menghai. And here most of the trees, the youngest trees are 300 years old, the oldest 600 years old. And here there is a fence. Chawan, the oldest tea tree. Before it was possible to go closer, but now because of the tourists, they create a fence so you can look for a tree, but not climb on it. Yeah, and many tourists. So here's the gates to Lao Ban Zhang, and here the sign, Dongo Pocha Di Tsung. Actually, it means first tea village in China, pu-erh tea village, most famous destination for tea. Here also the checkpoint, then the harvesting inactive stage when harvesting started. They control to not get all the material from outside of Lao Ban Zhang enter here. But fun fact, from the other side you can actually bring material from Lao Man E or Simbajan or any other villages who are far from other side. But from other side, we also have kind of checkpoint, so we try to protect the original quality of Lao Ban Zhang and protect the origin of the leaf also, of course. So we are near the oldest tea trees in Lao Ban Zhang. Actually, there are two. This one, which have a lot of branches, but very thick main trunk, and here also only the Chawan, actually the oldest tea tree, it's here. Now they harvest not so much from it. Why? Because it almost was dead because of the so much visitors here, and they even built a new kind of national park-like fence. Last time, if you can look for my old videos and some other videos who was here before, it was not like that. It was much more accessible. Even there was a fence and people just go out of the fence and to make a picture near the old tree. So it's really bad. Here's also actually leftovers of old fence we can see here. And the price for fresh leaf from this tea tree, it's 800,000 yuan. So it's around 100,000 euro for fresh leaf. So it's maybe for ready tea, it will be the same amount for only maybe 500 grams or maybe a little bit more, because you see the trees really feels not so good, which is why we also built with more fences to protect it. Because many people believe that it's a bit overpriced, and even if you talk about Bindao, the prices are even higher. So the sign of the, actually the sign of the village, so it's pu-erh village number 1 in China, price-wise not. But Minty, the power of name, we can say maybe still Lao Ban Zhang is best well-known village for tea. And mostly it's because of the name. And the richest people of China like to order tea from here, also to control supply, how the pick leaves, how it was prepared and so on. And the kind of a brand which really appreciated by most wealthiest Chinese families who like pu-erh tea. In Lao Ban Zhang, we have actually interesting tradition here. Each number of a house, it's also kind of a local brand. For example, now we are Lao Ban Zhang Arsha Sanhao. It means Lao Ban Zhang number 23. Even on the cups, they make their own kind of design. And all families are here very wealthy because they really sell super expensive tea. And it's our friends' family, so we don't need to buy it. You can just try. But still, it's actually a really good experience, and really see how very poor rural village developed to high-end, really expensive and really wealthy small town we can see, because even we have now a bank here. Before it was a really very bad earthen road, which you can, even on a jeep, it was really hard, difficultly accessible. You can see my look for my old videos from here. It's now completely changed because of the promotion and because of the mostly minty power of the name, how we can say. Now we try this year harvest Lao Ban Zhang Dashu cha from big trees, and later we try Gushu from ancient tea trees of Lao Ban Zhang. So let us try a bit. Here is a sign of Sim Ban Zhang or Ban Zhang Chung. Here we have actually entrance to the Ban Zhang area from the other side, not from Menghai side, and we go into Lao Man E. Actually, Sim Ban Zhang before was quite more rich more destination than the Lao Ban Zhang. We go into Lao Man E because I think it's more interesting. Lao Man E because before it was a capital of Bulanshan. I will tell a bit more later. Now we are in Lao Man E village. This is actually, before it was a capital of all Bulan Mountain. And here mostly Bulan minority living. Now we're inside the monastery. There is a big statue of white Buddha. Here's kind of Bulan minority, Bulan nation kind of main symbol.
And before they ruled all the mountains. So for example, Menghai village and Ban Pen village, who mostly inhabited by the minority Lahu, also was belong to the land was belonged to the Bulan minority, which is why mountain is still called Bulan Mountain. And they are also ruled all the other villages. And for example, Sim Ban Zhang and Lao Ban Zhang, they was inhabited and still inhabited by Hani minority. And actually the name of Ban Zhang came because of a fish, one type of a fish. Until now, they still also pretty wealthy village, not comparing to Lao Ban Zhang, because Lao Ban Zhang also became very wealthy because of a tea. Here is the biggest monastery because Hani minority and also Lahu minority, they are not Buddhist. They have their own kind of beliefs, like praying for the fire, like with Hani minority. But Bulan minority, they are Buddhists. So this is why we have now in the back, I'm sitting backwards on the Buddha statue. It's just newly made, very huge monastery. Yeah, a massive one. I see some actually very similarities in patterns. For example, when I was in northern Thailand, patterns looks a bit similar. The monastery here in Lao Man E village have a history more than 1,000 years old. Now it's already, of course, rebuilt and new, but still it's one of the oldest monasteries in the region. Also very interesting design, a little bit similar to Thai and to Dai minority here, but it's mostly white and gray colors, main design. And also they have, of course, the tea place. Here is a sign, Lao Man E, for Miao, for Se. It means Lao Man E, Buddhist monastery. Yeah, very beautiful. Interesting fact, tea from Lao Man E have a little bit bitter taste, a little bit. But actually there's two types, like a more sweet and more bitter one. And now we drink something which is in the middle. This is actually the sample, quite big one. We're drinking the tea. And some local people just join us also. It's they are from Lao Man E village. Not so many visitors because it's not so famous like Lao Ban Zhang and some more closer, remote villages. So they immediately appeared as soon as they see some group of foreigners came here. And also, interesting, I asked how is to say tea in Bulan language. There is a sign, and it's literally, you can say it like la. Like I said, in Chinese, tea is cha, but in Bulan language is la. This is the gates of Lao Man E village. Beautiful gates, I like it. Now we are crossing big area of Bulanshan Mountain plantation of Dai brand, Menghai. Actually, they are quite huge. Also on Bada, they have a big plantation, and also here. Yeah. Also one tea picker now working on harvesting some bushes. Here we can see practically, if you talk about the amount of material, for example, yesterday we just harvested fresh buds, fresh flesh from the bushes, from the tea tree, and you see how much more fresh flesh you can collect from the bushes. So this is why it's also very accessible, and you don't need to climb the trees, but of course it's really affect the taste, because as soon as it's a smaller bush and have not so big root system, and regularly it have much less nutrition, so this also affects the flavor and aroma of the tea. This is why ancient tea tree is much more tasty and fresh. Absolutely epic thing. On our way we just see the big tea garden, and this tea garden is covered by the solar panels. So it's actually a very huge farm, very huge solar farm all the way around, a few kilometers, quite long. Also there, yeah, it's really far. And downstairs is tea, and tea is quite good actually. It's not any Shanghai or Gushu, just a regular Thai cha. But still, I think it's a very efficient way of using the space. Quite efficient way. We arrived to Mang'an village. This is mostly Hani minority village, and it's located nearby Bulanshan Mountain, not on Bulanshan Mountain, but nearby. And it's an elevation of 1,200 meters. And here we have much more older houses and a little bit more closer to the outlook of Yunnan, and especially Sichuan around 20 years ago was something like that mostly. Actually, appearance it was all the time before the economic boom of Bulanshan. This is construction of typical Han minority building. A little bit updated for some middle floor, but still the roof is very traditional, and also the balks also, the wooden one, very good. Timi mayu la nong ma we, timi ma sha wa sha ma ga, za le mi nya mu a sha mi nya. Like from Afghanistan. Afghanistan, okay. We're now in Mang'an village, and this Mang'an village actually also have a lot of ancient trees, and one of our friends here have a museum which is about local culture, local ethnic Hani minority culture, and it's in this subculture which called Aka. And we're now trying the local tea also. The tea, of course, is Shen, made just 2 days ago. So we are going to try.
This from Russia?
Siberia.
A little bit of Aka language. Lobo is tea.
Yes.
Aka is a minority. Akalobo, it means Akalobo, Yakini,
Yohakunya.
Yakina. Akalobo, Yakina, it means literally Aka tea is great. Lobodo, Lobodo, it means drink tea. Lobodo.
Yeah.
Village Mang'an, and here the older sister of the father of Bialo, our friend. Actually, they picked for us 50 kg of fresh leaf. This fresh leaf came from Shintai material, so it's yeah, we will work on it. Actually, it's younger trees, but I think not so young as it can be. We can look a little bit for tea garden. This is the forest, and just there, the tea gardens are located. And I like this village actually very much. Why? Because it's not so promoted as Bulanshan mountain villages, and still a lot of modern houses a bit, but mostly a lot of older traditional Han minority houses. And but what I like the most, they still live in the houses from maybe 50, 60, even 100 years ago, and they have quite modern cars back there and here also. And so we live, I can say, prosperous life. We're not already such a, how to say, poor like it was before. But yeah, they still also preserve kind of traditional lifestyle, which I like the most. So, my friends, today again from village Mang'an, we will make a roasting of shen. Yesterday shen already ready. We're a little bit tired because it's 10 p.m. But 2 woks are ready, and we are ready to roast it. We already cooked the half of the batch. Actually, there is a trick. There are 2 of us, me and Oleg. We just change them ourselves, one to another. If you feel tired, we just swap, and it really helps. Also, already you hear the noise behind me. The roller started. Today we will do some machine rolling of the leaves.